We are talking about a lot of cool stuff today. Some things are really, really progressing well. We're going to cover a few of those. Some things are about to be launched imminently. And of course, we're going to fill people in about some exciting stuff. Everyone likes rewards, so we've got a lot of those in store as well. Welcome, welcome, everyone coming in. Action Man.
Heyo.
There he is.
Man, I mean, this platform has been fun. Let me tell you. I joined and left like twice and sending requests. I don't even think you got them.
No, I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me okay though?
Yeah, you sound great.
It's weird. I've got like a headset on, but it's not playing through the headset. But it's got a mic, and it's taking the mic. So I guess this will do.
Yeah, fun times. It switches between listening to music to actually it considers it a call. So it acts a little funky sometimes, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. So hopefully it will bear with us. But as long as my sound quality's good, with the mic setup, it's hopefully not like scratchy. I've tried different Bluetooth headsets and things like that. So we'll roll with this.
Corey, you sound amazing.
Well, you do too, but you're in a full-on studio because you're like 5 level Super Saiyan above me. So I'm just still, trying to.
Wait, I'm what?
I'm trying to build myself up, man.
Oh, I got to tell you, I'm actually, what do you call this thing? I'm on the new iOS and I am struggling to find the right buttons. For example, when I'm in a call, I get to make decisions on usually, do I do voice voice isolation, or am I doing, what do you call that thing? Broad spectrum audio. I have no idea how to access those features right now. I am struggling as much as the next guy.
Wow. I think they always have some pretty crazy changes in who knows how they do their user feedback when they do these upgrades. I found that the Samsung upgrades, for Galaxy, and all that, the Android, they seem to be pretty intuitive, moving different features and stuff around. So I don't know. Apple's a whole new world for me.
Yeah, rub it in. It's okay. I haven't. Should I get on my Android?
Well, you could. Yeah, we're still right on time, bro. We're only 2 minutes in.
Good point. Yeah, this is funny. Well, guess what, Corey? Now I can actually move my widgets around on my iPhone. Features are brand new. It's I've been able to do this on my Samsung forever. It's yeah, I know.
Oh well, at least they gotta do some exciting things to keep you entertained.
Giving my data away to OpenAI.
Yeah, or blocking VPN tools within their devices or the way they host things. I've just saw an article on that recently.
They're keeping it secure, so they're not letting that VPN connectivity bleed over into anything else. Is what's happening, right? It's a Docker type of setup.
Yeah, I suppose it's got its pros and cons. I think people in oppressive areas, that's where it probably affects them because they're used to, it's kind of like plug and play, one tap. Oh, cool. Everything I would think is being privatized through some kind of VPN tool is actually working. And then, they change all that stuff. I'm sure there's reasons, but yeah, it's interesting how things move. And then I see a few posts about Mozilla Firefox. They've turned on some kind of anonymous ad thing. It sounds like everyone's caving into these ad avenues. It's weird.
I don't mind a caving into ad, as long as the user gets something from it and it's a user's choice to do so. Other than that, yeah, not a big fan. Can't say I support all that.
Yeah, man, I think it's got to be opt-in, not just, we better opt out if you don't like this, but we're putting it on anyway, And it's got to have some kind of benefit to the user.
I literally had this explanation over Spaces earlier this week. Even developers, I blame developers for a lot of this stuff. Even the free apps developers, right? If you're interrupting games with ads, not interested. Now, if you're putting the ads so close to the buttons where you're hoping for somebody to misclick, yeah, I also delete that. Not interested. The only time I support ads inside of games or anything like that is if there's a little bee that swings around and goes, hey, would you like to watch an ad for X number of gold? Sure. You get something. I get something as a user. it's a fair type of economy. You're not trying to trick people. You're not interrupting what's going on. Like that's the one of the few times that I'll say, you know what, this is well made.
Yeah, it's good you say that because to relate it into how I've seen some of these things shift and like the way I guess it gets, what this all comes down to how do you monetize your app or your ecosystem, right? And are you doing it with external parties? Okay, how is that channeled through? And what does the user have to do or not do, right, for it to benefit the ecosystem as a whole? Or in what you were saying, the case of the developers, right? Is there some money that's being generated to pay for development? In a project like Mask, it's relevant because we never did ICO, we never did VC, we never did private investors. So we don't have this like massive treasury or, we have people that are funding us externally and saying, hey, do this and we'll give you some money. We sort of have to think about, okay, how can we make it sustainable? So some of those decisions become, quite important. But one way we have put that into the app as it stands in a good holistic way is we've got the Mask Premium. So anyone who's like new, you'll probably start seeing that if you're using the browser, you'll start seeing, oh, premium feature here, premium feature there. I mean, this is where a user can use all the free, great privacy strengths of Mask. But if they want that little extra, there's going to be premium features that enhance their experience. They hold certain amounts of tokens. Everyone wins, right? They hold some tokens. They might have to buy it. So people are acquiring the token and it's a network effect. And then they get the benefits through the browsing experience. So that's something we're working on a lot, probably towards when we're releasing the extension. We're going to focus a lot more on that because for those of you who don't know, we are building an extension as well. So we'll probably talk about that today. But now that we're into the thick of it, yeah, man, what's relevant these days? We've got so many things going on. Like, where does Mask fit into this? Maybe you've got some ideas, bro. You're everywhere.
It fits in everywhere. What do you mean? Where does it fit in? I literally just had a space that I co-hosted with Peak earlier today about all the kinds of deepins that are happening out there and how most people are just trying to make up acronyms so things sound fun, while all the while the real projects are not doing ICOs, while the real projects are not trying to raise a boatload of money. Instead, just trying to provide value and grow organically. That's where Mask fits in, by the way.
My man, see, it was like not Cunningham's Law, but almost like, hey, you tell me, like, what do you think? But so is that our boy Scott Fu leading that whole deepen rage now?
Yeah, Scott, that's so funny. I used to host with Scott like years ago, man. Like before he became like a big into RWAs and deepins. Like Scott was a homie from the get go. Like when he was just doing music and stuff. So yeah, I'm coming full circle. Having Scott be like the man at Peak is pretty fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I've actually watched his little journey because when I jumped onto that Wolf what is it? Wolf Web3, like that whole group. It's such a cool podcast. And then he was in there and I sat in there one time and spoke a little bit and he's like, hey, let's connect after this. He's such a cool, like down to earth dude, man. Like, I could see, he's going to be a big advocate in Deepin. He's going to rise to the top and be like a person of authority that people can go to and say, hey, here's the news. Like he's been researching it. He knows what's up. So it's cool. I'm glad he's got his own platform now in that space. It's awesome.
You got a platform to good people, right? And that's why we are here, Corey. I mean, people try to claim things are deepins when they really aren't. Mask is one of those that actually was built from the ground up to be a decentralized physical infrastructure because you can't run this thing in La La Land. It has to be on devices, right?
Yeah, so we have had that question, especially since Deepin as a niche or like a sector of crypto that's sort of evolving and becoming its own identity. Lots of people are like, oh, are you in the Deepin like sector? Like, would you consider Mask Deepin? And I mean, I think what's kind of like difficult to say about it with that in mind is that we blend so many areas, so many aspects within the software. Like you could say we sort of sit in the Deepin area because everyone's running a node, right? You could almost say that like, I don't know, someone who runs a validator might be considered Deepin because you're personally running it and it's infrastructure and it's part of a greater network, right? So in that sense, Mask is absolutely a Deepin type of, software solution because the network is powered by the people. Without the people, without the users, the network is non-existent. And without enough, the network's weak. So what you need is a strong network, a strong base of users, because the stronger it is, the actual solution within the software, which is privacy, censorship resistance, freedom of access, and of course, an economy where people sharing bandwidth and people using bandwidth together, they all benefit in a symbiosis way. That's enabling that, right? So the more people are incentivized and shared amongst the network, the greater the whole thing is. So like, that's what I see a lot of DePIN projects that are successful nailing really well, because all those sort of aspects I've mentioned, they've been thoughtful about it, and they've hopefully aligned the incentives in the way that they do some kind of token or reward mechanism where it's healthy, it's sustainable, not the whole thing we've been seeing with, low float, high FDV, which is rubbish. We see that all the time. These are maybe done the flip side, where you start with organic users and you distribute the token over time to the users, or you have a high distribution at the beginning so that real value in the market side is appreciated and realized like in a normal way, not, oh, hey, let's artificially inflate this so our VCs can exit at multiples. That's what that shit is about with all these other things. So I'm seeing the ones that are really turning out with that way, and it's working, and it takes time. It takes time to mature.
Well, 10 minutes in, and we already got a clippable portion of this talk from Ask. Check that out. That was pretty good, Corey. I thought you were going to end with like, guys, it's Mask. It's a decentralized VPN by the people for the people. Join now.
Yeah, I should just get my taglines ready, right? Like the hero, the whole like the one-liner to close it.
I mean, not gonna say that I think in those realms every single day, but yes, that's usually helpful.
I'm gonna write some down from now on, just in case I like catch myself on one of those little like, oh man, I'm really nailing this whole explanation. Boom, at the end, drop the little tagline. And
there you go. That's how you do it.
Yeah, our content crew could like say, oh, there's the line. We better cut that clip. We got to deli slice this now.
I mean, yeah, if it works, it works. I mean, it's better than me, because like halfway through things, I'm like, oh, Scott called this DePIN space the Pina Colada. So let's have fun with it. I was like, all right, guys, it's been a great space. Let's have a conversation about the Pina Colada.
Yeah, that's the one, man. I thought you were going to play a song as well, so I know you might be getting a call. He was entering to like a Pina Colada.
So I did start playing a song. I did start playing a song, but then I had an alarm that randomly was set. My children probably played with my phone.
Hey, that's all right. Got to break up these, these chats with some exciting things, some sound effects, some music. Yeah, we got clips already, man. I mean, yeah. So what we're saying, DePIN. Yeah. I mean, I'm proud of them. Hopefully I can like maybe jump into some of their spaces when I catch them. If I see them on Twitter, I'll just jump in.
You're always sleeping. I don't know what to tell you. You're always sleeping when I'm in spaces. I probably run about 6 hours with our spaces a day. So like you're definitely sleeping when I'm doing those.
I have talked with the family and the wife saying, listen, I might maybe temporarily do an opposite sleep schedule, because I do miss a lot. Like it's probably between like 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. I see all these alerts. If I go back to my notifications, I see like, oh, Action invited me to this thing, and this other guy, has invited me to this chat. Polygon's done an AMA and I missed it. Like that seems like the prime time.
All right. Sounds like I just need to start dropping you. Every time I join a space that would make sense for you to join, I'm just going to start sending you like little DMs just so you can start tracking that. So if there's like, if you need to work things out, like with the families, by the way, Action sent it to me like 3 times just yesterday. So anyway, you can like 2 days a week work this out. So
yeah, I might need to do 2 all-nighters a week, and then I can catch all the good stuff.
Too funny, man. Yeah. I'll tell you what's going on right now. Right now in the world of DePIN, everyone is selling nodes. Like they're yeah. I I don't even know how to be humble about this. Like I'm making thousands of dollars just with referrals right this second, like without having to do much. One tweet goes out and people are buying nodes. Like the market is going nuts. So over people spending money with nodes. I think somebody, yeah, yep. Thanks. There it is. You just sent a DM to me. That's
Yeah,
one
I
of them.
just saw that as an ad on the way to the spaces, bro. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, the algos are working for me. They know what I'm looking at, you know?
Yep, and that's just one of them. So I have other ones that are going on as well. But like it's kind of crazy. Like people are actually spending money on these nodes. They're going all out when it comes to node sales. And here, Mask is not charging people to run this thing. Why?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it a few times in our lives, you know, spaces and the AMAs and stuff. I mean, you're right. A lot of network kind of based projects, they bundle their stuff preloaded into hardware, whether it's like you know, baked into like a Raspberry Pi that they brand and sell it with that, or it's a pre-configured router, or it's a validator node that's kind of like a mini PC. You know, like that's what we're seeing. There's lots of these places building them. I don't know what the margins are like. I assume they must be pretty good because, you know, you can kind of sell them at like a premium because people in crypto are kind of willing to spend crypto to buy it. So if you have a crypto checkout, it seems like you could charge like I don't know, it seems like maybe 50 to 100% margin on these products that cost so much less to make. And, you know, it's like, seems lucrative. For Mask, I mean, number one, we sort of feel like if we did that, then people would see it. I don't want to shit on any other projects, but it kind of has that scammy element. It's like, you know, if it's open source and someone can kind of do it themselves, why are you selling hardware that they could buy for like half the price and just follow a guide and make it, right? But again, that's a convenience thing, right? Like that's what people pay for often is convenience, or they don't want to learn something new. They just want to click, click, go. That's awesome. That's cool. I mean, we've kind of built software for that, right? That's why we spent all this time building the browser. So I don't know. We've always thought about it. We've had people approach us. We've even had a few like enthusiasts in the community say, hey, like maybe I could like make some and we could do it as like a small hobby project. I mean, we could. We really haven't seen the mutual incentives align besides it just to be a cash grab or cash sort of thing. Sure, it would help development with money. But yeah, we just haven't really thought it was like the most organic way to do it, really. I guess that's my take on it.
All right. I actually know a lot about this stuff just because I'm on the developments. I have been on the development side of things as well. It really depends on product, right? Like there are some people making money hand over fist on these things, and there are people who are really trying to keep the margins as low as possible. It really boils down to the integrity of projects a lot of times, as well as what's the goal. Because some people are very honest about this thing, like, "Hey, we are gonna charge $500. It doesn't cost us anything. This is a node. Like you're literally paying for the node, which is just a piece of software. Yes, we developed it and all, but you're just paying to run it." And what they do with the money, I think, is really important in this space. So yeah, it's just a matter of doing things right, making sure that people have their T's crossed and I's dotted, in a sense of like full transparency. What's next? Where are you going with this? And what are you doing with it? Because that's really important ultimately. Otherwise, like I just have no faith in people that don't do things with the right heart behind it. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Like I'm working with a project right now called Conduit. Like the software licenses, they're very cheap. I mean, very cheap to produce because they're just software licenses. But when it comes to the main product, I mean, they're talking about commissions being like 3% to influencers because they don't have the margins. They are really spending as much money as possible on the hardware and throwing all of it to create a robust network, as opposed to some people who just, I mean, honestly they just want to take and not give back, right? And those are not people I'm interested in working with. So that's why I'm here. Whenever you're like, hey, Action, you comes like, yep, I'm there. I already set up my notifications and I'm absolutely going to be there. So it's just a matter of doing it right,
Yeah, that's totally fair. I guess with my perspective that I shared, it wasn't to say that anyone who does, any hardware or node sort of license, for their with their design of what they're doing isn't good. Like there's lots of really awesome projects, and I totally would back you and say in full confidence, like anything that you get involved in, you support, or you're advisor for, or you just really love, are probably those good projects out there that are doing it right.
And not always. Like I'll be honest. Like sometimes it is a money grab on my end, but I'll let everybody know. I got like 3 comments today. He's like, "Is this still worth buying?" He's like, "Nah, dude. This is like a quick get in, get out. Like, don't go in it." So like there's also those things. But yeah, ultimately, I agree with you, Corey. Everybody's terrible. The internet is going to hell in a handbasket, and that's why we need masks.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not to say we might never do it. Like, there's maybe a place for it later. Probably one of the biggest, I guess not a blocker, but sort of like an issue of us doing it is, I say this with a lot of emphasis, we just don't want to handle any user's information. Like, that's probably the main reason why we wouldn't want to do it is, number one, we don't want to have to set up a merchant portal. We don't want to have people giving us their mailing address, their paying with a credit card if it's not crypto straight away. We just don't want to deal with any of that, because now that means we really aren't touching or have any avenues to collect any user data. The minute you offer a product, you have to do it through a merchant front, and sure, you can use a partner. But then, what would happen if that merchant got hacked, that merchant portal got hacked? And all of a sudden, your name's associated with a hack that's got all these customers' information leaked. Like, that's our worst nightmare. So I guess that's probably like the biggest motivator of us not doing it, besides all the other logistics. And we want to run as long as we can with just keeping it as, privacy preserving as we can, doing nothing with any user data, not touching or collecting any data, and just letting the users power the network, encrypted, in privacy, and as decentralized as possible. So that's probably like the main reason. But I'm sure there's ways to do it. You probably know some ways that could achieve that, and maybe we'll chat about that.
You just made the best point ever that I don't think people ever think about, or don't think about that often. There is no way to honeypot data if there is no pot to begin with. People forget this all the time, and like this was my gather around me at 3XP a year and a half ago, where I got to talk to MetaMask and asking them, I was like, "So you're collecting data? Why?" "Well, we only keep it for X number of days." Like, right, but you still have it, so it doesn't matter how long you're keeping it for. For that amount of time, everyone is at jeopardy. So unless you can tell me that there is no pot with the data, yeah, no hands can go in it. And if they go in it and the pot's empty, great, nobody's at jeopardy. So, yeah, I mean, that's the best way to put it, man. Like, avoiding data collection at all costs makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and it's also like how the network of the world is designed, where you've got breadcrumbs everywhere. It's almost impossible to have no one that's ever had a footprint online now born. Like, the minute you're born, you're online somehow. Your records are somewhere. Your medical provider is going to have a reference. You're going to have some kind of electronic trail of filing for a birth certificate or whatever it is. Unless you live in Samoa, perhaps, because maybe I think there was a weird story, because I've worked with some people in my background, and they said there literally was, as old school as it could be, there was an old, massive, like 10,000 page book, and when you were born, your name was written in this book with your name, your parents' names, and the date of birth. And one day, that book actually got burned down in a fire in the government building, and they lost like all these generations of people's history. And so, like, there's this big gap in history of see, like, everything now is not done like that. It's done online. So, like, if you can remove the links that are possible between a customer or a user of your protocol and everything else they do around them, that's a good thing. That means that they're not able to connect all those breadcrumbs and figure out, oh, this guy used this product, or this guy's a mask user. Oh, well, now we can connect this and this and this, and oh, look where it is. We can find all this stuff and build the social graph, Decentralized social graphs, that's amazing. That's why things are like really ramping up with stuff like, Lenster, they turned into, hey, Farcaster. You've got so many cool products like that are out there building a social graph, but it's not revealing all the personal stuff that you don't want revealed, right? It's like if you could toggle something on Facebook that said, literally, I want no one to know this data on me, and there's no record of it unless I want to share it. That's a really valuable thing.
That's really
And of
kind for you to say that Facebook would have that button. That button would never exist in Facebook, and even if it did,
course not.
it wouldn't actually work.
No, Mark would be fired if he proposed that. Everyone in the board and everyone in the shareholders would say, "Oh, hey, buddy, you know this is going to drop our revenue by this percent, bro. You better not do it." And you know, like they're never going to allow that shit. So yeah, you know, we're really trying to stay true to that, and it's hard. I will admit, like designing everything with those things in mind, it does draw things out. Like people have asked recently, "Oh, you know, you're reaching 5 years. Like, you know, is there like I'm asking? I'm not a troll. I'm not funny. Like, why is mainnet having taken this long?" And like, I can't give a long-winded explanation like I talk about with these types of things, but really, like that's one of the main things. Is like when you want to really design something to be properly decentralized on every layer and privacy preserving and you know resistant to bad actors. That's the biggest thing, is how do you protect something that's zero knowledge from bad actors? If a bad actor's in there, how do you know if they're a bad actor, right? If most of it's zero knowledge, how do you know until they touch, you know, routing or something? So like, it's really hard to design some of this stuff. A good example I'll share is we're dealing with this feature that is so desirable, it could basically make us Mask VPN, right? Mask VPN is going to be a thing. It's where you can turn on Mask and you can say, I want US content. And it's going to go through the network graph that you're around and say, oh, here's a node that's broadcasting that it's in the US. Let's use that. It sounds easy. But how do you make sure that that is not abused by bad actors in the system? Because let's be honest, how many Tor nodes are run by the NSA, CIA, FBI? Probably a shitload. And that's why that network has never been truly destroyed or taken down, because they can listen on those nodes. I love Tor. They're trailblazer. They're the best, like they're developing this type of technology. But there's no guarantee that someone routing your traffic in Tor as an exit node is not tracking what you're doing. With Mask, it's different. But at the same time, if someone says, I'm a Mask user and I'm in the US, how do you know that they're in the US for sure until you route data from them? How do you know that they haven't tried to like modify their version of Mask and, you know, somehow it's allowed in the network and you know, they've hacked something around? Who knows? Now, encryption can't be broken, so thank God for encryption. Without that, all this would be non-existent. But like, yeah, there's so much to work on. And so you got to think about all this stuff, and it's very difficult. And you lose lots of sleep over it because you're like almost thinking about like being a leader of a project. You got to be optimistic on the outside and pessimistic on the inside. Sounds weird, but you got to also be like, what could go wrong? Like, how could this be compromised? How do we protect this? It's like you got to wear two hats, two faces all the time in your design mind, and it's definitely difficult. So on that note, though, we're making great progress. Like we're 70%, I'd say maybe 70% done with country selection, maybe a little less, which I'm telling you, once that's done, man, we're going to be a real competitor for everything out there that is starting with any type of VPN product, because we can offer that, which is like game changing. I can't even tell you how amazing that would be. We can compete with everything.
What do you mean compete with everything? Like with the guys that get their servers blacklisted and you can't even use it even if you pay for it? Those guys?
Absolutely. You name a VPN brand, a browser that says they're private with a VPN product, a network that does routing, like a mesh network, onion routing, everything. That feature that I mentioned, the country selection, is pretty much going to be able to compete with all of that. Hands down.
That's what I like to hear. Because ultimately, let's be serious, like there's only so much you can do when it comes to these things. Just because, like I said, you get blacklisted real quick when it comes to having centralized servers when there's a bunch of people going through it. I mean, I can't try. Here's a quick thing. Try going on YouTube using any kind of centralized VPN. You're going to get a warning right away saying there's unusual activity coming from this network. We want to make sure that this is right. Actually, no, we're going to block you all the way through. I've done this multiple times with multiple different paid versions of VPNs. I like testing. What can I say? And it's just not a great feeling, I guess you can say, when it's like, hey, I paid for this and it still stinks and still can't do what I paying for it to do.
Yeah, it's super frustrating. We've actually had some tests with that exact thing, and I'm starting to really dislike YouTube because they're really turning up those. I guess you could call it like they're starting to do DPI, which is something that the Chinese firewall has, most sophisticated system. That's why it's so impenetrable. DPI is deep packet inspection, and what they're able to do is analyze things like, is there a trace of where that data's come from prior to the sender of it, right? Like how many steps back can you go? Can they actually look past the ISP who sent it or the router that sent it and go back and see? And sometimes metadata can store certain things that are not stripped away. They can see where it's coming from. They might be able to see, okay, is this data packet actually what it's supposed to be on the label? So you might have a data packet or someone routing something that looks kind of like TCP, which is a protocol of data that's sent. It's a certain amount of bytes large, it's got certain headers, it's got certain things. And they'll look at that and say, oh, that doesn't smell right. We might think that one's from something else, And so these big corporations are like, we're going to squeeze some more profit now. Times are tough. We got to make our shareholders happy. We got to squeeze that extra 1% out of our users for all their personal information so we can give them the ads that will make them buy stuff and a few more clicks and, make the elites of more millions of dollars while they all just suffer under this inflation. Let's start tracking to see if they're using any tool that's not a normal connection. And we'll start putting friction points in there. Oh, you smell like a bot. You got to sign in now. We need to know who you are because we want to sell you some shit. Or we think that this connection is unstable. Like, it doesn't seem, make sure you connect, refresh or whatever. They have so many things they're doing now, man. And it's like, how do you beat this? Well, you need to hide in the masses. You need to hide in the crowd with the most common identifiers that are everywhere and just act like the herd. And so, and funnily enough, Mask has tried to stand in that camp for a long time. And I'll share one thing that kind of reinforces that. It was interesting, probably a year or two ago, I saw Proton, which I still have a lot of respect for the Proton brand and their family of products and stuff. And they've tried to do things as best they could. I can understand there's some things they probably could do better. But overall, I think they've stood a good test of time. They released an upgrade to their VPN product, and it said something like, hey, we've developed this new way of routing. What we're going to do is we're going to route data as TCP because that's still the majority of the data that flies around the network of the world and the internet. And it's, not as easy to detect that you're doing anything different to a normal user. And I was thinking like, wow, this whole time they haven't been doing that? Because that's what Mask has done from day one. We're using everything under TCP and we're encrypting it under the normal protocols of the way you handshake with TLS and make sure it's encrypted to end server to user, blah, blah, blah. That's all the techie stuff. And I'm thinking like, wow, so Proton's going there. We've been there, like we're on the right track, right? If big corporations are kind of doing what you're doing, I think you're on the right track. And it just goes to show like you need to start thinking more about that because all these, companies, all these big corporations, these ad companies, they're finding ways to squeeze out the people that care about privacy because they can't make money off them. The only way to fight that is to, number one, vote with your mouse, like use the products that preserve your privacy, that respect you, and don't make you pay for it and don't make you opt in for extra privacy. Quite the opposite. They should be offering it by default and opt out if you want some kind of perk from sharing your data, right? So you got to vote like that. Then vote with your wallet or vote with your crypto Web3 wallet. Like spend money on projects like Mask, buy some tokens to use our network in the near future because we give a shit about that stuff, right? We're not sitting here trying to rub our hands together. How can we get another 1% out of our user base? Times are tough, man. I got to give CEO a raise. Like, let's get that 1% of ad revenue. Like, man, I won't share the details, but there's been some people that have approached us to say, oh, would you do ads in your browser in a certain way, this, that, and the other? And I'm like, man, I just don't think we can go down there. Like, once you open that gate, it's hard to close it if at all. And yeah, man, like you got to and give up, the third thing, you got to give up a little bit of convenience, right? I know it's tough. I know it's hard not to have things like one click away because we live in this, thanks to, you could see all the people around us in the millennial generation and all the others, where they just want it now. And all these companies make money out of wanting it now, get it now. So I order something on Amazon and it's there almost the same day, maybe the next day, or drones will just drop it off. Like we live in that just-in-time world. If you care about privacy, you can't have things just in an instant. Sometimes you have to put a few little things in place because you care about it, right? And until that shift happens on a wide scale, you're going to have these, communities like this where we talk about it because we care about it. And we're trying to convert more and more people to care about it. Like you ask someone, do you want to save 50 cents on gas tomorrow? How far are you willing to drive for that? And some people might say, oh man, I'll drive 10 miles and get my extra cheaper gas. Well, okay. Some person might say 10 miles. Some person might say, 50 miles. Some person might say, hey, I'm going to go take my truck and fill up, a whole thing of it because I want to save lots of money. How far are you going to go to trade that convenience for what you care about, And so all that stuff, so important,
I completely agree. I'm just curious. You're definitely pacing around. Why did that person drive a truck and sound like a hillbilly?
Because they're living rural, they don't have a lot of choices on their gas stations, you see. I had this image in my mind.
You built the whole backstory while you're talking about it. I love it. That's how I operate too.
I know. I'm like, okay, I'm deep in this sort of like shtick here. I got to make sure I think it out first and then say it really fast.
Yeah, no, he's got three daughters. Wife stays at home. He actually works in oil fields, doesn't come home as often as he wished. Anyway, we can go down this route later, but you're dead on. I mean, ultimately it's nice knowing that some projects, some people are willing to not give up, right? Because ultimately that happens day in, day out. And it's living in a sea of compromises, honestly, right? All right, this is going to get slightly philosophical, but it's really it's the best way to capture what this is all about. Living in this island of 1,000 compromises basically boils down to there was a bird, and this is what's going on. There's a bird that's in this island, and there's this little guy that goes over and goes, "Hey, would you like some free food?" And the bird's like, "Free food? What kind?" "The best one you can possibly get." And the bird's like super excited about it, and he's like, "All right, what can I do for it? What can I pay you with?" And the guy basically says, "I don't need much. I just need one feather." And the bird's like, "What? Just a feather? Great. Pluck. Here's a feather." And this goes on for a while. A little over a month goes by, and all of a sudden the bird is like, "Cool. I'd love some of that yummy food that I don't have to hunt for or go out for, or, let me just pluck." And soon enough, when that bird tries to fly away, it can't because it compromised too much. And it's no longer able to make its own decisions because it's now stuck with all the little compromises that it's made from the beginning. And that's what I see happening left and right in the space. It's people saying, just one time, it's okay. Maybe if we just change one thing, it's going to be all right. And soon enough, they're stuck in this island of compromises that they didn't think they would ever be stuck in.
Yeah, man, that is such a good analogy. It's like slowly boiling, a frog. They're not going to jump out if it's immediately hot when you touch it. It's like slowly, like the slippery slope. And and we don't want to talk about these things like, oh man, things are not going to be good. Things are, fear mongering and all this. But it's almost like, just make a few of those little choices in your favor, right? Or try something out that you think you believe in, and test your faith of how important is that to me, right? How important is actually, taking my data back and making sure I'm not a victim to all these ad mechanisms that are just hand over foot, just extracting value out of everybody's life. And they don't realize it, they don't realize how influential these things are on them. Not only them, but if you got kids, you probably think about, man, what are they doing on their phone all the time? How much screen time do they have? Why do they want this hoodie that looks like it's like $10 and it was printed in a sweatshop with some label and it's $300? It's something I've dealt with recently. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I was about
here?
to say, that sounds like a personal account over there. Are you doing okay? Do you want an invite to the support group?
I had to sell some crypto I really didn't want to sell, and it's hurt me, I had to buy this hoodie. No, I'm just kidding. We pretty much said, no, you're going to split it if you want this that bad. And she's got a little job, and Yeah, you got to teach those values, right? And then using that sort of example, like, I don't want someone who's listening to wait until they get hacked or, hey, why am I getting all these weird ads? I've signed into Google on all these sites and I've authorized my account, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm starting to get all this weird stuff, spam and everything. Like, don't wait for that to happen. Like, do some small things, like try out the Mask browser when you surf things that you maybe want extra protection for, right? Or jump into our Discord and ask questions like, hey, I'm a user of this browser, blah, 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 but I really like what Mask stands for. Like, tell me what you think would benefit me. And we've got such a wide audience of users. Like, some people, again, I've talked about it like a privacy spectrum. You've got people that really don't care about privacy at all. And they're probably going to be hard to convert to become a Mask user or someone who will participate in the Mask ecosystem. That's fine. Like, we're not going to target them, but maybe one day they'll come across the spectrum a little bit and say, oh, now I'm starting to care about it. I got hacked, or, I'm sick of Google. I realize that they're really extracting all the value from me and I'm blocked from this, but let me try it out. Okay, they're going to take a while to convert. That's fine. And you've got all the spectrum in between. And then you got the extreme, which is someone who might learn all about the tech and look at every feature, every option, and toggle all of them on. They'll be like, I'm going to browse on 5-hops Mask because I've got the node hop feature that's coming out like in the next few days with the newest version. I'm going to put on the highest security level. I'm going to never log in to any corporate centralized login like Google or whatever it is. I'm going to use like burner emails and stuff. Like, cool. Like, that person's made a lot of, like you said, a lot of trades. Kept all their feathers, though. They haven't given away all their feathers along the way for easy stuff. They've kind of kept them, and they can fly as far and wide as they want. And that exists in Mask too. Like, you've got that whole spectrum of ways people use it, of reasons for them to use it. Hopefully we're hitting as many as we can. And so, like, circling back to what we're doing about all that stuff, like, the biggest thing now, once we release this version, which is pretty much done. I was just testing it again last night, just a few little things because we don't want to come back to it. We're going to fix major stuff that might come up. I don't think there will be anything, but we want to like pour our focus into this extension because we think we're going to make some quick progress. The reason the extension's being made is because we also know on that privacy spectrum of users, some people are they just want to keep their normal browser. They're happy with the limitations that it might have. They're happy with the compromises they've already made. They've dished a few feathers to stay a user. That's fine. They're happy. They're at peace with all that. That's great. Then why not give them an extension that can be used to let them tap into Mask, use the Mask network, ditch their VPN, ditch their Tor, and use something that cares about the privacy of the users without harvesting the data and tracking them right from their everyday browser that they love to use. Just a couple clicks, install it, boom, get some tokens from the faucet while it's free, while it's limited time on the testnet, and use it. And then when Mask goes live, they can use it as they want, top up as you want. No subscriptions, no credit cards, unless you maybe want to use one. We might have a fiat gateway that someone is happy to make that compromise. Here, have a feather. I'm just going to buy $10 on my credit card. I don't care. It's a wallet, so I can burn it. Doesn't matter. Boom. And I'm a Mask user now. Like, that's the stuff we're going to be doing. And so it's like, it sounds simple, and that's why we're going to do it. But like, for the user, it's got to be simple. And so that's the direction we're taking in the next 30, probably, I'd say 30 to 60 days, but hopefully less, and get some proof of concepts out there too. So if you're listening, you want to try it, definitely come into our community. Tell us you want to try out this new stuff. We'd probably put a little alpha tester group together. I'm keen on that. And help us, reach out to more users. That's going to be the key. The browser will still be there. Anyone who wants it, loves it, great. We're going to keep building features. But yeah, that's the path that we're taking.
I love how passionate you are about this stuff, but you not only care about making this network, building the network the right way, but you also want to make sure that the OGs, the people that have been here, that have been faithful to the project, are getting rewarded through and through, right? I mean, you got some stuff happening over there with Guild XYZ.
Oh yeah, man! Thanks for tying that back too as well. I had that on my little list of things to mention because we always have these great chats, and I drone on sometimes on my soapbox. I probably need to talk more and share more, so I won't like lecture so much with these things. But hopefully, someone who's new hears a clip from that, and they're like, I like that guy. He said something that really resonated with me. So we'll get our editors to edit all these clips out and get the good stuff. But yeah, we put together. It took a little while. It actually took a little longer because we wanted to kind of make sure we're recognizing all the right people and not leaving people who were very impactful in our journey, leaving them out. And so, yeah, we did a retro round, not like these big, foundations that are kind of just awarding already wealthy projects with more retro. I just don't understand the stuff that I see. I wish they'd give some to us so we could actually use it for the benefit of the users. But we've given out over 40,000 tokens to like the most, basically like the power users, the earliest OGs who were like really always there in the trenches with us in our early versions of the software in the browser, helping us fix things, giving us good feedback. And really, they've shaped where we stand now with the state of things, which is now quite polished. Lots of things, lots of work has gone into that. So we've given out all of that to some of those people, and we'll probably start to share a little more about how each of these people have helped us so other people can rise up and kind of be like them, right? And so now we've gone past that retro thing. We're going to be rewarding open community reward programs. So we've built some stuff with Guild, we've been on Guild for a little while, but they've been busy. They've got so many features on there now for projects to offer so many cool little activities, rewards, like ways to get roles and loyalty things, NFTs, all sorts of stuff. We've tried a few of those out. If you do feel you were one of the first into Mask in our community, there's still a special legacy mint. It only costs, I think, 2 Matic and gas or whatever the Guild costs. Like there's no fee in there for us. It's just to mint it and some kind of Guild fee. But you can mint that now, and that preserves you in our Discord as a legacy member. There's certain roles and stuff, like maybe you were one of the first 1,000 users, or you held Mask Premium back then and you logged in and, got the browser in our early versions, like all that stuff. We want you guys to get back re-engaged with us so you don't miss out on all the rewards we're giving out now. So we're going to do things like activities, testing runs, we might start something called like Mask Mondays, where everyone tries to get on the network at the same time. We try and beat our all-time highs of active users. And in the newest version, you'll see we've actually built some widgets that sit on the dashboard or on the desktop. And it tells you based on on-chain activity how many active users are in the network. And we want to see that in the 4 figures now. We've probably got an all-time high, I think, of like 200 and something nodes. This was back, I don't know, somewhere late last year. We want to beat that by like 4x. We want to go like 1,000. That's where we know we're really cranking it. We're really testing things out, and people are really using the network, right? So we've got that live now. So this next version we're about to release, like you'll see stuff like that on the dashboard. Hey, this is how many active users are in the last 24 hours. Here's how many people are, like using the token. And then it's got like call to actions on there. You can share it online on a tweet or an X post and say, hey, I'm having a good time using Mask. And that type of engagement we're going to reward. So we're like looking for the active users rising up. We're going to get all the most active and engaged people and give them a pool of rewards. And it's going to be a regular thing. So the first epoch is going to start soon. It'll be for 4 weeks. And there's a whole bunch of different activities. I'm tying in some partners and some cool projects that I really think like just stand really well with Mask in our ecosystem. And do some collabs. There'll be activities you can do to try out their products that give you rewards from our ecosystem and vice versa. Hopefully, if my plan works and my vision works, we'll have like a very ebb and flow sort of thing with partners coming in. They'll sponsor stuff. Users can get multiple rewards from different ecosystems, different projects, different products. And it'll all sort of like continue in a sustaining way. And it'll just make it super fun. Like I'm going to be very open. I know for probably too long that so many people were trying Mask and they're like, oh, what's in it for me? It's on testnet, right? I can't earn yet because it's testnet tokens that has no value. And I can't, do all the premium stuff yet. I'm not, haven't quite bought enough Masks to get the full premium and all this. And I'm like, we have to give back to these people, because some of them have been around for years, helping us. And maybe we've given them a few things here and there, like some tokens or thanks or an NFT, but like now we got to really crank it up and lead up to mainnet, because that's prepping people for it to go live. So yeah, we put a lot of thought into that. And then the last thing I want to add is we're going to be flexible as well. Like we're going to try and adapt quickly and execute quickly. So if we do some activities and they don't really seem to really rise up and get off the ground as we expect, we're going to probably switch it up and try something different the next week. And users, go ahead and offer some ideas. Like we'll do some cool stuff, and make it really fun, really engaging. And end of the day, we want people to try out Mask. So the more new users we can get, the more downloads we can get, and the more on-chain activity we can get. Those are all the things we're tracking. So we're really wanting to see how that growth goes. And through that, we have growth hacks we're going to put in place too, like things we've already planned, some big news and things like that. So I'm really excited for it. It's really going to, crank up Q3. And I'm excited to see it go live.
I didn't notice you're excited. I'm kidding. You've been pacing, and I can hear in your voice like, yeah, this is coming. I'll tell you what, I had just had a fun idea. There's an easy way for us to get thousands of users real quick. We're going to require screenshots. We're going to do a post, and I'm going to put up $500, and I'm going to draw for people that post their screenshots of running Mask. How about that?
Oh yeah. Do you want to do it like just execute right now, or do you want to do it through Guild?
Well, that's a great question. See, what I don't like about Guild is a barrier to entry. Like, I don't want people to have to sign it up, right? I want people to just go on X and go, well, I can make money. Yeah, let me get this thing retweeted all over the place so I can actually be a part of it. So very, ground roots, essentially marketing campaigns where it's like, hey, you got to tag somebody else, and I want to see your screenshot of running Masks, and this is the post that you're going to follow, and it's going to stay pinned for a week, 2 weeks, however long, and we're going to go to town, making sure that we are getting more people onboarded and getting people rewarded for their commitment to trying out this really awesome application.
Yeah, man, I'm down. Hey, I will match it with you, right? Why don't we double trouble this? We'll make it a total of 1,000 of prizes.
That would be really awesome. Because let's be serious, right? There's so many people out there that not only would benefit from this, but just don't know about it yet. And it's just a matter of reaching them, right? It's a matter of getting out there and saying, hey, you can get some of this for free. You literally just got to click the download button. So it's just exciting when we can kind of come together and say, hey, you know what? This is not for me. This is for the betterment of the network and everything else that kind of goes along with it. So yeah, join. Have fun, earn some masks / monies to go along with it. It's just a good time when we can actually support the network, not only with the application itself, but with I want to say hard cold money, because it's not actually fiat.
Hey, we don't have to worry yet. Gensler is sort of hiding away with all the crap going on. So I don't think he's attacking alts for, at the moment.
Oh, he's as happy as can be. He's like, somebody else is in the spotlight. I'm going to just keep quiet for right now because, don't want the heat.
Yeah, man, I know. Hey. But no, what you say is it holds a lot of weight, right? You don't want user friction. We really did think about that too with the way we're designing this. We thought, okay, we can, and just to clarify, we will do a number of tasks, exactly like what you said, just spontaneous, virality, amplify this, amplify that. You don't have to do extra sign-ins and stuff. And the stuff we're doing with the Guild and the Discord is almost like, come in and become a super fan, right? Become one of the group where we know, hey, we're about to do this big event. Everyone kind of weigh in and share it out. We're going to build this sort of ambassador group of ambassadors who are they're like an army, I hate to use the word shill, but if you know something's good, you do have to shill it ultimately, right? We're in a sea of noise here in Web3 and crypto, right? So we know that shilling is obviously something that's beneficial if you do it right. So yeah, we kind of want to build a real organic, properly organized shill army to just promote the benefits of Mask. We've got working products that lets us stand out from 95% of the space. I mean, we're not a meme, so that probably makes it 99% of the space. That people can come in and actually use what we built. And sure, we're constantly improving it. We're constantly adding features. We know what users want that hasn't been built in Mask yet, and we're building it. So like, still go out and try it. It's still in testnet. So yeah, man, but you tell me what you want to mock up. We'll draft it up. I'll throw down from my personal wallet, and we'll make it like, $1,000 prizes, or if you reward one or two or however many. And we're going to do lots of things like that, man. It's going to be awesome.
I can't wait, because honestly, this has been dormant for way too long, and you know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to have to get the Moon Boys involved, because if we get enough traffic, we're going to need more nodes, and if people are using and not serving as much, yeah, that's when we kick things into high gear and say, you know what, we're going to go all out now and make sure that this thing is actually, hosted all over the globe.
Yeah. Actually, I have mocked up a few little programs too that we can do. Probably with you helping it'll just be so easy to execute. But yeah, kind of like a node runner group, like ways we could say, hey, look, we need some power, and people can just run their serving nodes. We'll have guides for all of it. We've got a few mocked up, but really cover sort of every avenue, and people could just spin up nodes, become node runners. Put an incentive program in place. Hey, the first 100 people who sign up with like reliable, infra, whatever, and show that you're running it, boom. And then, incentivize that, and the network will scale. So you and I are on the same page. The serving side, we know we probably won't have too much problem supporting that. Now we've got to focus on the demand side, the users using the network for their daily stuff, for browsing, for streaming. I mean, to be fair, it works pretty good in streaming. Provided you get past, if you do see it, those stupid things on you. Not that everyone uses YouTube, but it's probably everyone tries. And yeah, if they got those little like blockers there, you got to sign in and this and that. I mean, we're bound to have to face that, but that'll slowly go away with the more residential users that are serving that are in Mask Network. And that's a big piece that we've worked a lot on, is to make more people able to serve with just a few clicks. So it's getting to a really good spot. Yeah.
Just tell me when. I got those 85,000 nodes ready to deploy that Docker. So just let me know when.
Oh, well, one of our main men in this space is here. He was in the retro round for helping to godfather the Docker, which I think is like really close to even just at least an alpha version, where you can just spin it up, and there's loads of Web3 computing marketplaces where you load a Docker in. I think Spheron is one that we tried to work closely with. Or you could just run like just a VPS and run the Docker image in a cloud server. Boom, you got Mask running. And a lot of people who care about privacy, they're actually doing that now on a small scale, like maybe just one or two, but they'll use the Mask browser or their home network, and they'll connect directly to their node that they themselves are running. So they know it's kind of going through their own first hop, and then they can access the greater network around that. And I think we're going to see a lot of cool, ideas and like little setups that we haven't even thought of that people are going to mix and match and do some cool things like that. I mean, imagine like if you owned a whole cluster of nodes and you like ran most of them.
I do actually own a big cluster of nodes.
Yeah, see, you could be like the node master for yourself, right? Like you'll route through your own nodes. So you're getting all the hops, but you're paying yourself circularly, right? And then for the last like hops, around the other countries you might want to use, you're going to probably pay them the exit nodes. That's sweet. But you've like made your own little mesh within the big mesh, like there's nothing wrong with that. It's like super cool because there's so many ways you could do it. So yeah, lots of stuff
and all while earning, because you're supporting the network as a whole. So you're not going to be the only one, taking advantage of that node. Others will be able to do as well. So it's a win-win.
Exactly. You're still going to get traffic from all the other people. An interesting thing, I thought this is like a little tech comment. I was asking our tech advisor, I was like, hey, just to remind me, is there an upper limit on how many nodes that a single, node that's serving, how many they can serve? Like how many people connecting to that node? Is there a maximum? So like I thought, okay, maybe it's 64. For some reason, I thought 64 was like a theoretical max. But supposedly there's no max. So like if you have the bandwidth, obviously if you're non-responsive, new connections will probably change around you and do another route. But technically, if you had like a gigabit upload download, you could essentially support, as many nodes as might request to go through you. And that's insane. Like you could literally have high speed nodes that people like spin up, and there's probably going to be things that we've kind of built some of it, but there's probably going to be things where people might come up with like a special cluster of nodes in the network where you need an API key, and it's guaranteed high premium speed, locations to what you want, blah, blah, blah. And if you entered that certain ID, it'll verify that you might be like a customer of this person's sub network, and you can go in. Like that tough stuff is going to emerge. We've kind of thought of some of it, but like sky's the limit with this stuff, like it's super cool. Like I said, we can compete with, I feel like we're really going to become a competitor to almost any privacy tool out there, including the big names and the ones that we all know, traditional Web 2 versions. And I think that's really what we're trying to aspire to. It's super, super exciting.
No, I completely agree. I mean, only question that I have is that that banner on Twitter right now for Mask is such a tease. It's a browser v0.9. And I'm like, so we're only one version away from mainnet? Is that what that means? Because I'm looking for that 1.0.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, see, everyone now, every now and then, someone will ask like, oh, does that mean there's one more release until 1.0? I'm like, I actually don't know. Like, I wish it was that, uniform. Like, hey, okay, we're at 0.9.6, right? So 4 more versions, and it's here. Like we're kind of like, oh, it might not be that way. So there's no guarantee how many versions away it is. I know it's not far. Like, we've actually recently shared kind of like a state of the union of our strategy and stuff, and we dropped it in Telegram and Discord. But it was showing like, hey, these are if you think of like a Web3 business, privacy as a service, right? PaaS. What do we need to make this product? A Mask is a product now. Yes, it's a public good, but say it's a product for a second. What are the key elements it needs so it could actually have 1 million users onboarded? Like, what do you actually need for 1 million users? Now, you and me actually know, is there actually 1 million unique users in Web3? Or is this like a circular group of people going from chain to chain, from farm to farm, from yield to yield, from deep in to deep in, harvesting all of the reward? Is there actually 1 million users? Oh, fuck, I don't know, man. I think there might be. Hopefully there is. But to get 1 million users, there's no way you can get them unless you go outside of our bro town. We've got to go outside our bro town into Greentown, into the towns of the world and the cultures and the communities and the countries that really have not tried this stuff before. And it's so mature now that they can enter with like 5 minutes or less or 5 clicks and go in. These types of people are not going to have a wallet, probably. Or if they do, it's going to be like the basic one that they can't do multi-chain. They probably don't even know how to get gas and all this type of stuff. They're probably going to enter with, like a credit card or something, right? Or like maybe whatever's the modern currency that's the most adopted, like Tether or USDC or something like that, right? We got to capture those users. So this list of stuff, we said, well, okay, if we're privacy as a service for a moment, we're a product at the moment, these are the things we need. You got to have fiat on-ramp. We don't care about off-ramp. We care about on-ramp. If we're going to act as a competitor to VPNs, we have to have someone be able to say, okay, I want in, I'm going to pay $10 now, I'm going to get some Mask, I'm going to use it 1 minute or less. You got to do that through some kind of fiat rails, right? With a credit card or debit card. So that's something you need, because we can't, bury our heads in the sand and say, if you build it, they will come. Like, you can't sit there all the time chanting that and hoping it happens. Like, you have to be a magnet for these users. So you got to have that. Fiat on-ramp, credit card purchase. There's lots of partners out there. And actually, I probably will need you to refer me a few if you have context to Action, because we're vetting some. We got to have a fiat on-ramp. What's the next thing? We got to have some way to solve that gas solution until we have a permanent solution, which might be our own chain or who knows. Like, all this is conceptual because there's lots of ways to approach it, but they all require time, money, and effort and expertise. So It's not an easy fix, but you got things like Layer Zero now, which has been out for a while. Cosmos IBC, where you can build an app chain, which also exists in Polygon. Like, there's all sorts of things. We kind of need to solve the gas thing ultimately, because even if someone uses a credit card, if they're still dealing with the chain that has gas that's not abstracted, and we're not using Paymaster with account abstraction yet, how do you make it so it's not complicated for them to continue to be a user and pay for their services, their mask peer routing? They got to do that, And there was one more, I think, one more major thing. And again, this doesn't mean we won't launch Mainnet, but these are like the challenges we want to see done. So Mainnet could be a success with saying we will reach 1 million users. Like, we could reach 1 million users now, but it's going to take a long time. We don't have that kind of time, realistically. So the other two things were the browser extension, which we're building now. I'd say it's hard to give a percentage now, but like, put it this way, I've tested the concept, which I shared on X. It's working to proxy the browser traffic through to Mask. So that was the hard thing. Now we're taking all the work you're seeing in the browser with that whole panel that does everything now. That's been built too. So that's going to become the extension. So now we just got to port that component, alter the code to like port it in, and that's going to be like sort of a beta version of that. You need that, and then you need the country selection, because if we don't have that, you kind of can't compete with VPNs, right? Because most people who use a VPN, they want to choose the country. And so we can't obviously be oblivious to that core feature that 1 million users are going to want. At least a huge amount of that 1 million users are going to want. I want to choose this country. Or they might say, I don't want to go out of this country because, like, I don't know, maybe they only want content from certain regions. Like, you got to be able to do that. So with those things, there's no doubt in my mind as the founder and project lead that we can't bring in 1 million users to Mask. And that's the mission. So that's why I'm pacing and full of energy, because like, I'm on this mission, and never before have I really seen it so close in grasp with a proper strategy than where it is right now. And so it's super exciting because, some of the stuff's becoming real. And before you know it, people be like, oh man, remember when he said that stuff on the 18th of July, or in the States, it's 17th July? Man, it's happened. Like, he was right. And look at this, we're going to get there. So that's what we work on. This is the path that we're on. So
I love your passion behind all of this, man. It's so awesome. Let me ask you a crazy, crazy question. Would you be able to, I'm trying to think of how like technologically this would work, but essentially gatekeep, only allow access to a platform, a website, if they're going through a mass browser. Is that feasible? Like, I keep thinking about that. Like, how would I be able to do something along those lines?
You mean like if there was a website you wanted to go to and you only wanted it accessible to Mask?
Yes, or only accessible through a Mask node, essentially.
Through a Mask node.
Because I mean, that wasn't the details here, because if you have a way of identifying that it is going through a Mask node, it defeats the purpose of having a decentralized VPN to begin with. But yet I would love the ability of essentially putting something up and saying, hey, free stuff here, exclusive content here, but only if you're going through Mask.
Well, the funny thing is we were working slightly in that camp with the way browsers identify what users are using, right? So some of you who might be, and this again, landing a little bit in the tech area, some people might be familiar with the term a user agent string, right? And this is a string that's within the header of your browsing request, where the server who's delivering you the content, basically, if I go to, say, maskbrowser.com, it's hosted through our provider, and that provider is going to say, oh, well, what device is this user using? I'm going to display all the elements nicely so it doesn't, blow up their screen and show all these fragmented frames and the text doesn't show and all this. Like, when you get a mobile-friendly version of a website, it's using the user agent string that your browser is sending with your request. Now, with Mask and other browsers, they will have unique things in that user agent string. So if I'm using Chrome, it'll say something like Chrome or Chromium. If I'm using Firefox, it'll say something like Gecko. Some of the strings will have all that stuff in there because it's going to make that the server is going to make it compatible to all the main browsers. What we've done in Mask is, of course, we've stripped away anything that identifies Mask browser as kind of being a boutique browser, right? We don't want servers necessarily to have visitors and say, oh, this guy's a Mask browser. Like if they were tracking that and doing something different, then we don't want them to kind of be able to identify. But what we've kind of played with is through partners, we may want to offer a loyalty program where we identify them with some due diligence and stuff that they, are privacy preserving. They're not harvesting the data in a bad way or manipulating it where if you're a certain type of browser user or whatever, or in a certain area that they're going to put on some weird content. But if we allowed Mask to be in the user agent string, that maybe if they were a visitor and they were using Mask browser, that platform could give them some loyalty stuff, right? So they could say, oh, cool, we don't need to know anything about this user besides the fact that they're sitting with the Mask browser open, looking at our site. And if they sign in, okay, cool, we know that they're a Mask user. We can then give them a bonus on rewards that they might be using the site for, or, loyalty sort of like perks, or maybe new options will come up, or this and that. So I guess, like, long story short, like explaining that whole tech thing, to do what you wanted, I suppose if you had websites where the server said, if a browser is trying to reach us and they're not Mask, show them a 404 page or whatever, show them I can't deliver the content page or whatever. You could kind of reverse engineer that, and you could kind of gatekeep content based on if the browser's Mask or not, which is kind of cool, bro, because I've never actually thought of that before, besides trying to like link in with Handshake and do something through the way their domain resolution works. But like that could be a thing, man. Like we could probably experiment with
why
that
not?
And try and make it
why
happen.
not? Right? Like it's ultimately, I don't want to say gatekeeping in a sort of way, but it's rewarding users that are actually inside of the app. Like, hey, you want to participate in this XYZ Guild thing? Well, when you open Mask browser, you got to go to this URL and let us know what you see there. Like there's so many uses for it, you know what I mean? And not to show something else, but I'm gonna go ahead and show this. Very easy to build that with PHP as far as server side only and just serving content.
I saw your post about PHP, bro. That was pretty funny for us nerds,
I love PHP, man. I don't know what to say. It's what got me going in this space. Like it was, HTML, JavaScript, and all. It sounds like, wait, there's more, and I just got really, really pumped.
Yeah. Oh man, it's kind of funny. Little like, oh, HTML5 supported. That's great. It's like, okay. Oh man. Yeah,
we should try because it's been 16 years.
Mate, I mean, it's funny to think about all the crap that hasn't still been pushed mainstream, like like things like that, like HTML5, like IPv6, like TLS, all these other things. It's just like they had all these great ideas, they solved stuff, but hey, if you can't convert the masses to use it or the infra to use it, man, it's just a pie in the sky.
Yeah, IPv6, I think it was back in 2017 that was like ratified, so it's been a few years.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, we better get this done because we're going to run out of IPv4
We're running out of
addresses.
IPs. We're running out of IPs.
Yeah. And then they said, well, nope, we're going to sidestep that and we're going to build other stuff like CGNet and ways to subnet the IPs so you can still support thousands of users per address, like all sorts of stuff like that.
Come along, Starlink's like, yeah, we're going to need IPs. We're going to figure this out. It's going to be a network with inside of another network, and it's going to work. Mostly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it does have some issues, but man, they've got it. They've done it. There's some cool stuff, man. I'm just so glad that Mask works over Starlink. I mean, to be fair, when I first got mine, I was like, man, that's the first thing I'm going to do. And I have an unboxing ceremony that I filmed as well with a tablet, and I set up Mask on it, and I opened the box, and the Mask tablet was in there, and it was like running and stuff. And I was so happy that it worked because that means people can use it to surf. Now, because it's CGNet and no port forwarding, of course, it doesn't work without some crazy tech setup that you probably would have to research. You can't serve through it, but I'm sure someone who's way smarter than me, or maybe Action here, will figure out a way to make it work. And then it's game over for wired internet and hardline.
I mean, to be fair, I have Starlink, but it's like my backup internet. So I'm actually serving through my copper right now. So I haven't had to sort that out.
Well, that's good, man. And if you're on solar, you may never really have to fall back on that, right? If you have a power outage, you're still going to run your existing infra, unless it's like a citywide outage.
Well, don't get me started. I have 32 panels, and I am not producing enough right now. I have a battery backup everywhere in my house, but like I still don't have. I don't generate enough power, and I have the most expensive power in the whole United States. My peak hours are 83 cents right now.
All right. Well, everybody, Action's going to drop all of his referral links in a post below for every single product he's peddling. I need everyone to buy some. We need to get this guy a brand new solar array add-on to his house. We're going to build it on the ground in a clear area because I know he's got some land.
I built a warehouse on my property, so like I made the roof 45 degrees, which is roughly how high I am up as far as angle goes, so it's perfect. I can fit about 32 to 40 right now on that roof, so no groundwork needed. So it's ready. It's set.
You get the quote. We're going to crowdfund this, bro. It's going to be Action Solar Array.
What do you mean crowd? What do you mean quote? I'll do it myself. I'll do the install.
Well, just do it. We got to get you powered up, man. Like if anything goes offline, you need to host all of your nodes. You need to make sure there's no interruption, bro. We got to get this sorted. You're going to be running all these mass nodes. I want to make sure it's like nothing's going to knock you offline, bro. I need this.
I definitely have about 10 grand worth of UPSs in my house, like between all the little buildings that I have on the property. Like it's definitely about that much. Yeah, it's
wow. Well, you need to tell me what's the most offline. I might pick your brain as I was going to get one, and yeah, I'm going to ask you because you probably tried them all. You might even have a
you're gonna laugh at this, but like closeout sales is where I got most of my stuff. It's like, oh, they're good. Foreclosing an entire like floor of like high-end computers, or like actually I got a lot of them from labs. So like close out for like laboratories. So it's like, oh yeah, nobody knows what this is. Nobody cares about this. And I'm like, I know what that is. I want it. I'll take it.
Nice. Yeah, man. No, honestly, it's actually a good investment to get a decent one. So I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to pick your brain a bit, but we got to get you on that extra solar, man. If you're not generating enough, we don't want you jacked up on those local utility prices. It's getting crazy. But yeah, we've had a really good chat. There's lots of philosophical things in here today. I hope the editing guys are going to have to really work to get these clips.
Well, thankfully, the editing guys are probably, hopefully, if they're going through something in their life, this will speak to them and they'll be in a better place after they hear it. So on top of the editing, they get a little bit of life advice and to last them a lifetime.
Yeah, that's the one, man. That's the one. And well, to close out too, because I know we're it's getting late on your end too, man. You probably have some things to do or dinner time, but I wanted to share a couple stats too that really show like even as we stand, we get some good traffic and some good conversions. And interestingly enough, we've had our an SEO sort of like console set up for our website. So now we're able to just look at if people search us, like it's not. I think it's through Google search, but we're getting reports where, if someone searches for you, where do you stand, right? What's your click ratios and stuff? Without with no paid marketing, we're getting almost 4% click rate on search results, which is kind of interesting to know. So we're going to use those stats for when we launch marketing and ads, which again is something we will do. And I've given all the reasons why we need to prepare certain things to get 1 million users, right? And there's no way we can do that without doing some smart, sort of things like proper advertising and whatnot. But our website has almost 13 in the last month, almost a 13% conversion rate for people downloading the browser. And we've only done one release, so we can only attribute that to mostly unique users looking at the stats, which is pretty damn good. Like without having to pay, for ClickFunnels and all sorts of stuff like that. That's pretty good.
No, that's huge, man. That's really, really huge. And like I can tell you, like as a Mask user, I don't go to the website. So I'm not downloading Mask off of the website. I just click update. So yeah, I would agree that it's mostly new users coming in.
Yeah. And of course we've still got our IPFS mirrored download links too. So like, if anyone tried to mess with us, like take our site down or attack the server, whatever, we've got these links hosted on IPFS, so decentralized, anyone in the world can download it. Even countries that are starting to get blocked more about stuff around, certain tools. I've heard that someone had trouble even getting to our website. I can't remember where they were in the world, but I remember someone asking, and we gave them the IPFS link so they could download the installers. And their life was a lot better after they got onboarded in a minute or two and started using it. But also some cool stats too to see the top countries. Turkey was making a really big impact on traffic. They've dropped a little bit, but we've got number one, United States again, Russia, India, and then fourth place is Germany with unique visitors. So that's interesting as well. So I guess we're spreading the word in the right places.
Which is good because I'll tell you, there's a lot of places that I can't get to without some type of VPN being in the US. So yeah, it's necessary over here for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so that's what's on the cards for us. A lot of high level talk today, of our strategy, our mission, where we're going, but a lot of the reasons, blended into those comments and stuff for people to sort of listen and be like, okay, that makes sense. Like maybe that is why, things are being staged for the right moment. That's why we're building things up. But also we want everyone to know we want to get more engaged with our users, right? So we've got this great reward program. I think the first round is $5,000 worth of rewards. And again, for anyone wondering, yes, there's stablecoin rewards. We're not diluting the supply by giving out precious, juicy Mask tokens, which I know will be worth, well, let's just say, we're going up from here in a lot of ways, including the network, user count, on-chain activity. We want to give people some stable coins now. We're kind of done with the Mask rewards, so for lots of reasons. But there's ways we will give Mask out, and maybe you and I will chat what our prize will be in action. It might be a mix or whatever. We'll decide. But yeah.
That's a great point. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I mean, this is opportunity. So I know I promised those 500, so now I'm going to go out there and see who I can haggle with to cover that 500 for me and somebody else's token.
Yeah. We'll brainstorm behind the scenes, right? And just make it. It'll still be worthwhile for everybody. Don't worry. It'll be a pretty cool, set of prizes or one big. Who knows? But yeah, super excited for all the momentum we're gaining here. Keep an eye out, just a little like call to action at the end. If you're new to Mask, first place you should go is maskbrowser.com. Try our browser out. Yes, it is the current version 0.9.5, but the newest one will come out in probably the next day or so. So kind of a little alpha there that we've been working hard on it, and a few little things we just needed to polish before we released it and pushed it out. So it's like revving to go. That'll have the node hop feature in it where you can change your hops. So I didn't emphasize this enough because we were talking about all sorts of cool stuff. But as far as we know, I want people to recognize this is a leading edge feature. I don't think it exists in any other privacy tool that I personally researched. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I haven't seen a mesh network or like an onion routing sort of type of product where you can change the hops as you browse and say, okay, I want more security for a few sites I'm going to go to. I'm changing from 3 hops to 5 hops. I want more privacy and security. Cool. Boom. 10 seconds later, you're in there. Or you say, hey, I want to move to 1 hop. I don't care so much about privacy. I'm happy that the node next to me is going to route my traffic because it's all encrypted anyway. I'm not too worried about that aspect. I'm going to move it to 1 hop. Well, guess what 1 hop is, guys and girls? A VPN, essentially. So now we've made the Mask VPN product live in this new feature, in this new version. So you can go and do that. And you can do any hop in between from 1 to 5. So that's pretty special as well. And then we want you to engage with us. So come into Discord, discord.gg/mask with a Q. If you want to get involved in all of the possible community rewards, you just need to join our guild page as well. You can do either or. You can go through guild or you can go through the Discord, which links you into the guild step. Either way is fine. You're going to end up in the right place. And then we're going to start launching all of the initiatives and activities, and people can get involved. And it's going to be super fun. So anyone wants to chat after this, jump into our channels, throw us a comment down below if you like something I was talking about and really resonated with it. I'm keen to hear feedback. Had a lot of talking about stuff today. And please support my wonderful friend Action with some solar panels. Like he really needs more power because he's supporting a lot of networks and a lot of projects. So, let's make sure we give back to that man because power's not cheap anymore. We need to support his cause. So if you have any ideas, let us know.
You're too much, man. You're too much. Batteries. That's the next piece. I need to get some batteries in here. I mean, UPSs are not enough. I need to have a big old battery for the whole house. That's the next step.
Well, yeah, let's get you a Powerwall too, man. I mean, do they have a version 3 out yet? Like, surely they're coming up with
Not yet.
All right. They're very expensive, though. We got quoted like 20 grand for one down here. It's obscene. I was like, shit, that's half the cost of the system, man. I'm not going to do one of them. I'm just going to do some other ones. But
yeah, I am about a few steps away from doing the whole DIY thing and actually like getting myself some nickel solder and just going to town on some things and making my own. But that's a project for another time when I'm probably going to wait till the kid's at least 1 so that I can get electrocuted the right way.
Just always ground yourself, man. Like, don't mess around with those hot wires. Like, you know what to do. Just always take safety first.
I've been getting shocked from like 220 since I was a child. I'm used to it by now. Like at this point, I can literally hold on to 110 and go, yeah, this feels fun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we don't want to have to change your name to something, like shocked. Like, I don't know. It's like put a lightning bolt in your name. Or something like that, bro.
If you knew the war stories, you wouldn't be saying that. You'd just be like, actually, can you just add that right now? Because it's happened one too many times.
Oh my God. Hopefully you have all your fingers and toes, man. I'm thinking you might have lost a finger, and that's why you do so much audio work, because you can't type very good.
I still type pretty good. Yeah. It's jittery. I will say that, which actually helps as far as gaming goes. I can click really fast now.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, that's good, man. Well, hey, it's been an awesome catch up, bro. I love these. I actually was feeling real good about this because it's been a couple weeks since our last one. Kind of fell out of our pattern because there's so much going on behind the scenes. But hey, we let it all air out today, man. It's been awesome. So thanks for rolling with me today.
100%. Yeah. And if anybody is looking to see me live, y'all want to ask stuff about Mask, anything like that, I will be at Bitcoin Nashville. Corey's probably going to be there as well, but he won't disclose who he is, so y'all won't be able to find him. But y'all can find me. Just yell out Action anywhere you're at, and I'll probably find you. So, yeah, should be a fun time.
Yeah, if I'm there and you recognize the voice, just come up to me and say Mask Browser, and I'll buy you a drink. If you find me, there will be a prize in real life for you.
People are gonna be so weirded out by me. He's like, "Are you Corey?" I'm gonna be asking that all day. I'll probably get that on video. That should be actually a fun little clip. I'm just walking up to random people like, "Are you Corey?" No, okay. Are you Corey? You're supposed to buy me a drink.
No, you got to say the secret phrase, bro. We'll come up with a secret phrase. It's going to be, "If you don't node, now you node."
Dude, and then you get hit in the face. I'm gonna get hit in the face so bad, but I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do one for the team.
Yes. No, but if someone finds me there, then they'll get rewarded. They might have to find you too.
Ah, man. Yeah. Do you node?
Do you node? And then the response is, "If you don't node, now you node." You get a shot.
It's going to be the most ridiculous content ever, but I think it's going to be worthwhile shooting.
But the funny thing is, at a Web3 conference, you'll actually strike up conversations with that phrase, bro. Who's going to be like, oh, yeah, like I run a validator, but which one do you have? Like everyone would actually probably respond to that.
We'll see how it goes, but I love the idea, and I'm definitely going to run with it.
Awesome, man. For every piece of footage, I will give you a reward too. We'll put it in your solar panel slush fund.
I love it. I love it. Man, honestly, this has been great. One of my best spaces all day. Just not only fun, exciting, but honest and true, dude. Like, I love when I get to talk to you and actually have these lively conversations, knowing that you care enough to spend the time here and update everybody, letting people know what's going on and what they should be looking out for. I honestly, thanks, Corey. I really appreciate it. I mean, you even made Larry come back. It was so exciting. Larry came back. So thanks, man.
Oh, he's come back again. You called the wizard in. How did you manage that? That's awesome. He heard his name through the ether, and he's appeared right at the end. What's up, Larry?
It's my new thing. So usually I go, all right, so I want to get Larry to speak, but we're running out of time.
Yeah, we actually are. I've got to do the kid pickup. My wife was giving me the eye, but how about we put him on just to say he's present and he's not a bot? Let's do that.
I don't know. It could be a bot. I don't have co-host. I know you added me as a co-host, but I only showed up as speaker. This thing's super buggy.
Oh man, yeah, I'm still doing it with one ear off of my headset here, like my headphones, because of X today. Larry, are you a bot? Do you node?
I feel like a bot, man. Right now, I just got called on a call. I was telling Action, I'm up in a northern part of China, looking at some new cases for some ASIC miners. So it's just by happenstance I'm here. So. Again, I apologize for bouncing in and out.
No, but Larry,
we were joking around.
Do you node?
What?
Do you node?
Do I node?
Yeah.
I'm not right now currently, no. So
So this is a little preview of what this is going to look like. So here's what we're going to do. While I'm at Bitcoin Nashville, I'm going to go up to random people and just be like, hey, do you node? And that's kind of the response I'm looking to get. Bad ones.
No, but the correct response is, well, if you don't node, now you node.
Now you node. Okay, I knew that was coming. Had to make a reference to Biggie. I mean,
yeah.
We do have the shameless shill, though. We do have node rentals coming out from Hash AI, so there's a shameless shill. So,
well, then he does node. Hey, so he nodes all the time.
But we would love to use and partner with Mask's privacy protocol to enhance our node rentals. So there's another shameless shill.
Oh yeah, we did have a little DM before. We got to revisit that, man. I'm keen to do that. Let's check into it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just the market's really improving, and with announcements from Grayscale, everything is on the up and up. So I'm happy for everyone, in general. And all jokes aside, yeah, everyone should node.
That's right. Everyone should node. It's part of being self-sovereign in the Web3 scene, right? And a rising tide raises all boats. The more nodes, the more you node.
Yep, especially in democratizing your ability to do so, to not leave yourself out of the stream of what's coming. I mean, it's good, I think everyone's in the same mood right now, and everyone's feeling pretty bullish. Action, when I left, were you about to bring me up?
I don't have power to do that. X doesn't like me today. It's not allowing me to get co-hosted.
His node power level was too low, so he couldn't engage.
No, Super Saiyan node level 4 action today.
Yeah, I might have drained all of his power too.
I left it to Corey. Corey's got it. He's got it.
For sure.
Yeah, I drained all of his power though. He needs to recharge all of his stuff now. we've gone like well over our hour, which has been fun. Like it was awesome.
Yeah,
but now you're gonna get in trouble with the wife if you don't get the kids. You can't forget about them.
Oh, that's important. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, it's school holidays, so the one of them is like just with her friends, so it's easy to get that done. So that's good. Yeah, but yeah, man. No, glad to have you up here at Non-Bot Larry. It's great, to know you're you're here, brother. And let's chat offline too about that what you talked about. Where we could explore some of that privacy protocol stuff.
Yeah, it's important. I think now more so than ever because this is becoming the norm rather than so. Shout out all the normies that are no longer normies now. This is going to become the norm. So, with that being said, any way for the powers that be that want to continue to monetize or redirect your meta, your data, who you are, it's very important to have something like masks. So I was really pumped about it about the month ago when I was up here with Corey and in action last time, and I still really think that it's one of the most important things that need to be addressed is privacy and your right to democratize your data. So, shout out Mask.
Yeah, cheers, man. Appreciate it. And from a longtime builder in the space, so I know you hold a lot of perspective on what's a good player, what's a good protocol, standing for the right things. And same with you guys over at your Hash AI and all the stuff. But we got to connect, man. I'm going to make the time for us to do that because you're probably closer in time zone to me than Action is actually.
I know Action's the real bot because I swear to God, I talked to Action at like 3 or 4 my time, and he's like, and we were just talking about. I was like, are you on a schedule or something? He's like, I'm there, but I'm not there, but I'm there. So people talk about the Matrix. I think Action really is the.
I mean, you covered it. I'm definitely there when I'm not there, but I'm still there. You got it.
Yeah,
now we can add. If you don't node, now you node. So now we finish the song.
That's right, man. Oh, dude, and if you guys want a shirt or something that says that, I did make a mask out of a joke. I made a piece of mask merch on our Stream Elements site, and it has a mask emblem and says, "If you don't know, now you know." We should really start a real run of that for this next conference. Maybe I should organize this too.
You should have some hats and stickers, man. If you don't know, that really would do it, bro. That would be the heat. Stickers would be the one.
I think so. I got to look into if you guys have any recommendations offline for some merch companies too that are really reasonable. Yeah, let's do it. All these are great ideas today.
China's the biggest merch company in the world. Let me know, bro.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm there right now.
Let's do it, man. You know where to go. I'll hit you up.
For sure. Action's gonna have to get his cut though. He has his agent's fee in between, so.
I'm just trying to fund those solar panels, Corey. Larry knows.
Oh, shit.
I know, exactly, man. We do. He's got a solar slush fund now. We're going to set it up. I might have to buy that ENS too. It'll be Action Solar Slush .eth, and we'll just put donations in there whenever we do a promo.
Man, it's just, that's a totally different topic, solar. Me and Action talked about that on another space. It's just... you want to talk about one of the biggest hustles in the world? Yeah, that's one of them. So,
yeah, it's very expensive. It's coming down slightly in cost, but yeah, and utility costs are rising through the roof, so it becomes more economical.
I mean, during COVID time, it was the hype bounce that really boosted the prices because people got on a narrative that were misinformed on what it really takes to have solar and. Man, it jumped the price up. Like I saw all of these. I mean, a lot of people made money. It was just like masks. Masks during COVID time. I equate the solar panels to the same narrative on that. So.
And that's MASK, not Q. Okay, so it's that's a scam. Is the mask with a K, now with a Q. Highly support the one that ends with a Q.
Yeah, the one with the Q is the good guys, but the mask, that you could put on your face, the bluish green ones. It's supposed to be a 500 level mask. Yeah, it's not like the MASQ. That's the level 1000 mask. So,
that's it. Well, the funniest is I had to do some travel. I'll leave everyone with this story. I had to do some travel, and this was right after we launched. We launched late 2019, just before the COVID thing actually started breaking out. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. What if people think that we launched our name and our stuff just because of what's been going on. And so, that was all a bit of a thing. But I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to get some masks printed. And they had all these sites where you could get like knitted, like woolen masks that were supposedly really, high grade and N95 and all this stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get the cheapest ones I can, but just put mask on them. And then if I travel around, people are going to be like, "Hey, what's that on your mask?" I'll be like, "This mask? No, this is mask." And just have like a weird conversation with anyone asking, because they won't understand what I mean. And then if they did, I'd be like, "They're actually a mask. They're a Web3 person." And like, oh man, I'll tell you some stories about those conversations. That was pretty funny. I think I still have some of those. I'll have to. They were like the old logo. So
I was just
wearing
I
the
was just
mask with
letting
the
the
mask.
silent I was just letting the silence ring out just for a little bit, just to see how you felt about that story, Corey. Um,
Action, you're brutal, bro. Dang. But
It was a weird time. It was a weird time, man. For walking around with branded masks. I mean, hey, now we get branded shirts.
just for nostalgia, I want Action to break down his definition again for T TPU for tensor. That was amazing, bro. He was almost out of breath at the end.
Oh my god.
But yeah, break it down. It's you want to hear some hip hop. This is bars from Action.
no. Okay, so we're in a space we're talking about again depends and talking about the difference between GPUs and TPUs and how like tensor processing units actually work and how it's essentially almost like an ASIC of sorts, where it's just set up to essentially do calculations as opposed to graphic interfaces. You're not trying to create something on screen. It's just the card is essentially built to solve like an algorithm. That's all it is. I mean, tensor is just an object that's invariant under how do I say this? Under a change of what coordinates, and it has components that you're essentially dealing with one another. Anyway, we're going to get way too in depth in this whole thing. I'm not going to get crazy again, Larry. I appreciate you calling that out. That was fun, but this is Mask. Corey, what was that website that people need to go to download it, Corey?
Maskbrowser.com with a Q.
That's with a Q. There you go. So that's what this space is all about. We can talk about tensor cores later and how all that fun stuff works.
Well,
Well,
definitely get caught up with you on that so that we can talk about getting down together.
yeah, we got to get some. We do need some bars from Action though. Soon, maybe next time.
I was about to say, like, does that mean that you want me to literally like start playing along, or because it's always hooked up, guys? It's always hooked up.
Oh my god. Well, okay, we got to do this on a separate space because this is going to be a good one. Oh man. But I do have to run, guys. Thank you again for popping in, Larry. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Corey. Come here and have a quick chat with you guys. Always a
Yeah,
pleasure.
all good. Yeah, we'll connect after this. And yeah, everyone, I hope you enjoyed, all listening in to all our banter and the updates about the ecosystem. There's lots coming out, and it's really exciting stuff. And now's the time to really get engaged because, hey, there's some really cool incentives and rewards coming out for everyone. And those who use Mask, if you don't node, now you node.
And I'm going to be saying this for the next weeks to come. Thank you so much, Corey. I'm going to hit play on my random like songs and see what comes up just for fun.
Do it.
Yeah, there we go.